Hello students and welcome to CITC 2340, Advanced Database Concepts. This is the last of 3 welcome videos I've had to make, so I apologize if I seem a little bit out of it. So this video, I was teaching this class when the pandemic started, so I've already got like that latter half. I made a bunch of videos, and this is how I did it. I've been using Screencast-O-Matic, if you're familiar with it, the whole time until I find something better. That's what I'll use. I'll have to decide about the videos later, whether I want to remake them or do intros to each one, maybe to talk about changes, if anything changed, because sometimes the videos will address specific things going on in that class. So I'll have to see. I'll have to review it. But regardless, you'll have videos like this that I'll do, video lectures. So the only thing that'll be different is I won't have this in the corner. I'll have to figure out on the first day, it's good to have me. So, did I introduce myself? I keep forgetting that. Christopher Nicholson. You can call me Chris. You can call me Professor Nicholson, though I'm not a professor yet. That's a promotion thing. But most of your instructors are professors, so I know you're in that habit, and I've stopped correcting students. So you could just call me Mr. Nicholson if you want, or Chris. You can call me Chris. I'm also used to that. I didn't used to be like to be called Mr., but anyway, it's all a big tangent. So this is to help you get started. So this video and introduction is about like just getting started in the course. It's not so much about starting the semester yet, because that hasn't started. That won't start till Monday, and I'll when the time comes, I'll give you more about what your first assignments are. But this is just to make sure you're enrolled in the right Brightspace and you know where some stuff is. Just the introduction, and it's to make sure that you're here. So with that being said, when I'm done with this video, I'll make an announcement, and I'll have this video, and I'll have a link to the Start Here section of the course, and that's where like you need to have all the stuff that you need to do before the course starts, or the stuff you'll want to do. There's a couple things you kind of need to do. So for every section of the class, I've hidden stuff because I'm not sure if I'm going to change anything or not. So only things you really need to see right now before the course really kind of actually starts is to Start Here and some of the course resources and stuff. And I'll like reveal these things as I need it. But this is an online asynchronous course. So what that means is we won't have class meetings. You'll have weekly milestones that you need to complete. So yeah, there's no like specific time you need to meet. Now, with that being said, I'll have office hours, so you can arrange to talk to me in office hours, and we'll use Teams or Zoom or whatever to do those. But that would be the only synchronous component. But there will be weekly milestones, probably Monday nights, I'm thinking. I'm not sure yet, but if I have things to do like on a Friday night, people will have Saturday and Sunday the previous week to do it, but they won't, because like Friday's far off, and Saturday and Sunday is when you can do stuff, but you'll put it off. Does that make sense? If I make it due like right after the weekend's over, then even if you put it off, you have that weekend to do stuff instead of like during the weekday. That's my rationale. So I'll talk more about that as time comes. And with that being said, I'll communicate. The main way I communicate with you in the class is through announcements. So on this first page in Brightspace, I'll make announcements. When I do that, it should generate a mail to your student account. So that's how you want to contact me. There's a quiz question, the Start Here quiz question about how's the only way I respond to you, and it's going to be Pellissippi email. That's not strictly true if you send me a Brightspace message, which please don't, but if you do, I'll eventually probably get it. It's not the most reliable. The quickest, most reliable way to contact me is using Pellissippi email. So do that. And I'll contact you any number of ways. Mainly it'll be announcements. When I make videos, you should probably at least watch a bit of those, because I might make announcements in the videos, even if it's about another topic. But always make sure you keep track of the announcements. I know you're like, sure, I'll do it, but you won't. So do it for real. If I make an announcement, it means it's important enough in the class. There's a threshold of importance, and if it crosses important enough that you really need to know, I'll make an announcement. And that might mean there's some things you're like, oh, I wish, that wasn't all that important, but I'll try not to overwhelm you. I won't announce things unless you really need to know. With that being said, like at least once a week, I'll try to like say, hey, we're starting this week. Here's the topic. Here's what you need to be doing or whatever. So for each component, which is probably each week, there will be a checklist. So that's what I want to show you. I've got one for the start here. This is just to get you going in the class, and it'll have all the tasks you need to do. And what I try to do with my checklist is I'll have like what the task is, and then if it involves something in Brightspace or even outside of Brightspace, if I can link to it, I'll try to link to it in the item. Now, what you'll notice, I need to look at this as a banner student. This is the edit mode. It's by default as an instructor, but looking at this as a student, as you are, of course, you have to take 5 different clicks, and this is where I need to edit really, but I'm not going to. It's hidden to students, so I need to unhide it. I don't know why it keeps coming in hidden. Anyway, see how it's hidden. Visibility, eyeball doesn't have a slash through it. Okay, let's look at this as a... Before I do that, let's look at the other stuff in the course resources, because that's where most of this stuff is. So the syllabus supplement, I'll probably be adding one soon. When I do, I'll make an announcement about that. I'll make an announcement about office hours and that sort of thing too. Let's see if there's anything else that needs to be hidden here. I think everything else is okay. So let's go back to student view. And again, I'll make a video, I'll make an announcement. I'll have a video and I have a link to this section that we're in, which is the start here section. 5 different clicks again to get to it. All right, there'll be a checklist. And again, there's one for the start here, and then each week probably, it'll be like week 1, week 2, there'll be another checklist. I used to have a checklist for the whole course, but that got unwieldy processing-wise, especially if I had a lot of links. It didn't like it, so it's better probably to break it up into weekly checklists, more manageable. So this one, for instance, when I'm done with this video, there'll be a link to this video, or I'll probably actually embed it right here, so you can just watch it there. These boxes you can check or not check, that's up to you. That's for your convenience. But, that's the point of a checklist, right? Check things off as you do them. Read all the items in the start here. So start here is where this checklist is, and there'll be maybe some other items in there. Your class is a little different from my other ones, which is the template I'm using. But read it like all the, the basic class stuff is what this is for. Make sure you have the textbook. So I envisioned this when I was thinking about what I'm going to do. This is the only physical textbook that I have this semester. So this is what it looks like. There's the ISBN, the 13 digit one there in the checklist. But it's the Oracle Database 12C. It's actually kind of out of date, but the thing about, again, I should talk about what the class is about. This is a more advanced database class. It's going to build on what you learned in the last class, so there will be a little bit of overlap at the beginning with like things like joins and that sort of thing in SQL. It's very SQL intensive, but we'll do like a few fancier things that Oracle lets you do. It's more just to give you a taste of what things can be done with advanced databases, regardless of what brand it is. We're using Oracle. There's an Oracle. You actually should have used it in the last class. That same Oracle SQL developer thing. If you've got that account still, it might still work. We'll get to that. That's the next item. So install SQL developer. If you haven't got it installed already, go ahead and install it. There's some instructions here for it. I'll probably just make a new account for you. I'll have to check. You might have one from the previous class, but regardless, this is not time for those accounts yet. I want to see how the enrollment settles out before I do that. But so we don't have actual assignments in the SQL stuff yet. But before we do, you'll get an account that you can log in with SQL Developer. This is probably the most important thing right now. This next item is introduce yourself. There's a discussion forum, and this is how I'm going to... It's the main way anyway. I'm not going to say it's necessarily the only way, but it's my main way that I'm going to be able to tell if you're in Brightspace and you're reading all this stuff, you're getting started ready for the semester. So what you need to do is you can just reply. Actually, see how it has reply here. You can reply to this post if you want, or you can create your own thread or whatever. As long as you post this information, that just tells me a little bit about you. Tells the other students in your class about you. Feel free to reply to other people's stuff if you see something interesting you want to comment on. It reminds me of something I want to talk about in my other classes and I forgot, which is a big free speech proponent. But you gotta obey follow the protocols, the policies of Pellissippi State. So the main thing that I wouldn't want to put up with is attacking another student personally or whatever. But I just want you to know in my class that you have the ability to think whatever you want to think and express it within, as long as it's not disruptive to the educational mission. Let's just put it that way. That's enough said about that, especially in these times. But anyway, so introduce yourself, and then the Start Here quiz. This is actually what I've been doing in my other classes. I just go through the quiz. So this should have unlimited attempts. Yeah, unlimited, and it should you should be able to redo it until you get 100. I don't think I can preview it as a student view. I have to get out of it before I can preview it, but we'll go over it here real quick. And what it's supposed to do is just ensure that you've learned all the material you need to do. So whether you do that by watching this video and watching these hints or whatever, or whether you learn all this stuff by looking at all the documents, which you should do that as well, even if you get all the answers here. But that's the main thing, is to make sure that you read and agree to some of the things in the class. So it's Introduction to Data and How to Organize It. This is actually copied from another class, but it works here. So it's more advanced database concepts, but it still applies. This one, actually, I need to change some of the answers here. This course is you need to have access to MindTap to complete the assignments. That's false. Not in this class, so I just need to change the answer. The rest of the things should apply, though. The least weighted evaluation method in this course, and all of them, it's the other category. Testing and labs are always weighted more highly, and your homework and other participation and other extraneous stuff is not that it's not important, it's just weighted less in your grade. Your instructor's name is Christopher Nicholson, that's me. This is the answer to always use Pellissippi if you can, email again. And also you want to do this because use your email from Pellissippi, not your Gmail, because I need to know you are you in order to make sure that I abide by regulations like FERPA. Look it up if you're not familiar with it. This is a good thing I keep forgetting I can do this since we're recording online stuff. Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. If it's your grades or whether or not you attend a class or anything about your performance as a student, I have to keep that private. So it qualifies so that I have a reasonable expectation that if I get an email from your student account, your student email address, that it's you, so I can talk to you about things frankly in that. So it's just easier for everybody if you use your Pellissippi email address to my Pellissippi email address to communicate with me. So that's the answer to that one. You need a PC. You must use a PC computer to complete your assignments in this class. That's again, this class. I want to actually mark this false because you don't actually need. All you need is Java, so you can use SQL Developer. It's probably easier if you use a PC, but I'm not going to insist on it. As long as you can connect to the instance, the Outlook instance, and later on, at the very end, we have a Java integration thing where you write a Java app that talks to the database. You'll need to be able to do that. But the whole point of Java is that it's cross-platform, so that shouldn't be a problem. This is true. There's a statement of academic honesty. If it's not in here, I'll copy it over. I might not have done that one yet. And this is just to affirm that you read all the stuff that you need to in the beginning. And this last thing. Merely logging in the Brightspace is enough to count satisfactory participation and progress through this course. Now, this is advanced database concept, so usually most of you guys are fairly far along in your education at Pellissippi, so you might know this already, but maybe not, because the online thing's sort of still kind of new to some of you. Logging in's not enough to be attending, so what does count as participation or attendance or whatever you want to call it, as far as like people above me is concerned, is doing substantive work in the class. So that would be like taking a quiz, discussion forum posts if I like ask you to do one for that week, any kind of assignment that you turn in, any Dropbox stuff if you turn in something there. Again, I think I said quiz. Of course, the exams would count. Things like that where you actually contribute some work, that counts as participation. That resets the 14-day clock. If you haven't done anything like that in 14 days, I'll report you as absent, that you stopped attending. So be aware of that. I'm not here to help you game the system or whatever you're doing. Like I'm just telling you the policy. So 14 days, I assume you're still trying to pass the class and you're still participating, and I won't report you as stopped attending. But it's been 14 days since you've done some work, then I have to report you. What's the other part of that? Oh yeah, so yeah, just logging in doesn't do that. At some point, I might write an intelligent agent. I've done it in the past where that will check to see if you've logged in the last 7 days, just to kind of like let me know and let you know. It'll send an email to you and to me if it's been 7 days since you logged in. That's not saying that that's not affirming that logging in's enough though. I'm just assuming if you haven't logged in, you've definitely not done any work. So that's why I use that for. So if you get that email, it's automatically generated. Even if you're ahead of the game and it's been more than 7 days, sometimes we have a little bit more than a week before things are due. If you knock them out and it's been 7 days, still try to like log in every once in a while and check, make sure your announcements or make sure your work's correct or whatever. Just log in like every half week, even if you're ahead of the game, to reset the clock on that so you don't get pestered by automatic email. Anything else? So that being said, also make sure you are like checking at least once a week on things, or probably more than once a week for announcements about assignments. Make sure you're on time with your assignments. If you do get behind, don't hesitate to contact me. I know we always say this and students don't do it, so you really can like let me know, send me an email and say, hey, I'm kind of behind, can you help me with this? And I'll have an hour of office hours every weekday set aside. I'll probably be using Calendly to set that up where you can make an appointment instead of just waiting around with Zoom open, which I've done before. It's not the best use of time unless I have an appointment. So you can always set an appointment during those times, and I'll announce those and have them like in a grid later for you to look at. So you can make an appointment then. If you didn't make an appointment, but it's during that time, just send me an email and I should be near my computer anyway, and I can start up a meeting then. And if you can't meet during those times, we can arrange something, but don't get behind just because you don't reach out for help. Let me know. Say, hey, this has come up, or I'm behind. I don't understand this. I need a couple more days. Let me know and we'll work it out, especially now during the whole pandemic thing. Things are more flexible. I'm not going to say blow off your due dates, but there's a little bit more flexibility, understanding that we have because of all this, because it affects us too. I guess that's it. If anybody has any questions, I gotta remember to change those answers on the quiz because I wanted every class to have some kind of quiz, but I didn't want to reinvent the wheel every time, so I copied this one over. But it's a little bit different for you guys, different answers. But I hope you heard them. Of course, this stuff got to change the due dates and stuff eventually, but I might change these quizzes, these exams at some point anyway this semester. Yeah, any questions, let me know. And again, this video will be up here in the announcements. So the biggest thing is just pay attention to announcements. Does that show the Pulse app? If you don't have the Pulse app, go ahead and install it. This is on Google Play. I do Android. I'm not a big fan of Apple. I know some of you are iPhone. That's fine. This app is on iPhone as well. But probably this course, the people in this class know about this app, but if you don't, it'll give you a window access to Brightspace, the course. You don't want to take quizzes and exams and stuff in it, even if you can. I'm not sure if you can or not, but you don't want to do that. But it will give you notifications whenever I make an announcement. So check those announcements. So again, if I make an announcement, it's important, in my opinion, for you to know about it. Again, it might be changing due dates, stuff like that. Is that it? I think that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Send me an email at cjnicholson@pstcc.edu, and I'll try to clarify things. And again, again's my new phrase instead of apparently. We'll have more information about once the class settles in enrollment and I get your accounts and stuff ready. I'll give you more information about actual starting the semester. This is not the beginning of the semester yet. This is before the beginning of the semester. So this is just to make sure everybody starts off on the right foot. All right, thanks, and I hope you have a successful semester and all your courses.